Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It's my honor and absolute pleasure to be with you today. I know a lot of you are probably thinking right now, please don't reference the pandemic again in this talk. And I'm sorry, I apologize, I will reference it, but I promise I'll do it once and I will not repeat it again. Now, the reason I want to reference it is for a really good reason. When the pandemic started, we heard a lot of talks. We heard talks about how the pandemic came about and pushed digitization. And this part is very important, and rightly so. But this part is very important because for a long time, and in a lot of governments, we thought that the solution to customer experience would be digitization. And a lot of governments embarked in that journey. Let's transform our service, let's be fully digital. That's going to solve all our solutions. And thanks to the pandemic, that's not right. And that didn't happen. Let me share with you the story of Abu Dhabi program for effortless customer experience and our journey through this program. We started around a year ago, and we wanted to answer three main questions. Where are we? Where do we want to get to? And how do we get there? We started with our current state. And they say, if you don't have the luxury of time and resource and customer experience, then just use customer perception as a proxy measure. Well, lucky for us, we had the luxury of both. And we were blessed with great leadership that enabled us to be researchers, to really have a concrete answer of what is our current state of customer experience in Abu Dhabi. We embarked on that journey, and we looked at it from three different perspectives. We looked at it externally, from the public perspective. What do the people think about our services, our experiences? What are other governments doing to answer similar pressing matters? And most importantly, what is our internal capability? Where do we stand at as a maturity in terms of customer experience? We started by asking the public different perception questions and measures. We started with, as you all probably know and aware about, satisfaction, expectations in services, trust in government, and a growing body, and as you all are probably aware, there's a growing body of knowledge around customer efforts. And we ask customers how much effort they exert in attaining the services. We also looked at the international perspective. We looked at governments and what they are, the journeys they're embarking on, and the measures they're also measuring to understand customer experience in the public sector. And once we have the full picture drawn, we also hope to share our current state with the world, as other governments do. Now, we looked also at our internal capabilities perspective, and we adopted the international model for customer experience in government. And the reason why we wanted to adopt this model is because it really spoke to our philosophy. Our philosophy that in order to create true change and transformation in public services, the direction has to come top down. And that is where the model starts, with direction. We define what are our future aspirations, what are our objectives, and the action plans that we put. We also invested in human-centered design capabilities, not only in people, in process and in environments. Then we looked at development. As I spoke about in the beginning, when I spoke about technology, there was a huge push, and rarely in public service is technology the only solution. And we have case studies that tell us that while it is important, it is rarely ever the only solution to elevated customer experience in the public sector. And then, of course, we looked at delivery. We looked at our frontliners. We want to turn our frontliners into basically angels who understand the services inside out to deliver it at that level to our customers. But also, an important thing is not only about delivering the service, but also understanding how to recover from the service. Service issues occur, but how do we recover from that? And service recovery is really an important measure and attribute that we looked at to our frontliners. We're not only investing in our frontliners, we looked at the whole chain, from the leadership level all the way to our customer experience agents. So we understood where we're at, and because we invested a lot of time, thanks to the support and push of the leadership, we were able to clearly articulate what is our ambition and what is our goal as a government. And that is, we want to be the #1 government when it comes to the customer effort score. World-class, effortless experiences for all our customers across all our services, across the full horizon. And we're doing that through not only looking at perception measures, but we're also investing and creating a customer effort index, because we understand that it's important to look at different measures to understand the full landscape and look at our services in terms of each and every angle. And we look at it through 4 important service attributes: speed, ease of access, ease of use, and competence. So, we know where we are. We know where we want to get to. The question is, how do we get there? To answer that question, we have 5 strategic thrusts that will guide us to this goal. The first one being a customer experience policy that really tells us, and one of few in the world that really tells us what is our role as a government, what is each one's role, and how we'll work all together as one team to reach the effortless experience. Our second thrust is about setting priorities. In the past, governments used to set priorities based on the government's priorities, but when it comes to customer experience, not anymore. Our priorities are set based on our customers' needs and expectations, and our customers' priority. These become the government's priority. Then we looked at how are we going to do this? Where are we going to do all this? And that is why we're going to create a design lab. And this design lab, we're going to work together. We're going to bring in really complex service problems, bring in every single stakeholder, including the customers themselves, to this room and say, how can we make those complex problems effortless for our customers? The fourth, which I touched upon as well, investment in human capabilities. I started my talk by saying it's not just about technology, and the pandemic has proved that. It's also about human capabilities. And we're launching a full-scale program, not only for our frontliners, for our service designers, for our service supervisors and service leaders, that will help us in reaching effortless. We're doing this in collaboration with both academia and with the practitioners as well. And finally, we can do all of this, but at the end of the day, how do we know we have reached our goal? It's only by having a rigorous measurement program to keep us in check, where we can keep measuring ourselves day by day, month by month, to understand where we are. Are we reaching that goal? Do we need to go back to the drawing board and see what we need to amend to ensure that we stay focused and stay in line to reach that effortless experience? Now, you saw the next slide that has the pilot studies and results. Unfortunately, each one will take me itself 10 minutes, and I know I have 10 minutes for this, but I do encourage you to find me post-session. I'm very happy to discuss those results, the experiences that we went through. We worked with 3 government entities, 3 services, and we were able to transform them in a tremendously short amount of time with tremendous results. I'd also like to invite you to our beautiful offices in Abu Dhabi as well to hear about them more. And we also would love to hear about your experiences and your endeavors in this to answer this similar pressing matter. Now, I'd like to end my talk by saying that serving people is really among our values that we have, and it's embedded in our tradition. Our Prophet, peace be upon him, said, those most beloved to God are those that are most beneficial to others. And lucky for us, we are blessed to be in a country that not only this is embedded in our traditional culture, but also within our founding fathers and leaders. We live in a very exciting time where customer experience has really become appealing, interesting, and the talk of the town for governments worldwide. I'm sure 10 years ago, if I told a friend of mine that I'm giving a talk, the title of my talk, Future Customer Experience in Government, he would think I'm reading out of a dictionary under the examples of the word oxymoron. And thankfully, we're in the World Government Summit today, giving a talk about that exact topic, and everyone, I'm sure, can relate to that as well. Thank you so much.